Okay, I had a question about using volume in the indicator reader, and I thought I should do a video on it because this is a little tricky. But once you understand the logic of it, it makes sense. It's just a little strange how it works historically as opposed to real time. So volume is a little bit different, as opposed to using an SMA or an oscillator where if it's running in real time, calculate on bar close false, the moving average or the oscillator would simply move up and down within a fairly small range compared to the previous values. With volume, however, each bar opens at 1 or 2, or depending on how many contracts come in on that first tick of the next bar, and then it increases, and it continues to increase for that time period until that time period closes, or until the number of ticks, whatever chart that you have it on. But here, if I'm copying with the reader indicator, the indicator reader as it were, copying volume from the 3-minute chart onto this Renko chart, and the volume is set to calculate on bar close false here. So it's, you see it increasing as the ticks come in, and the indicator reader is set to calculate on bar close false. Well, then historically, I see one set of values. So for instance, the value here, that's the value of that 9 o'clock bar, 9 to 9:03, which is right here. Let me put this on global right here. 9 to 9:03, this bar. So that's the value of the volume right there. It's actually this bar right here. So that's the start of it. That's the end of it. So this bar, or these bars, take up 3 minutes. You see it opens at, or the first Renko bar closes at 9 o'clock and 13 seconds. The last one closes at 02 and 27 seconds. Okay, so all the volume of that 3-minute period will show up as a flat chunk like it does here on the Renko chart. But of course, in real time, this is the value of that bar, that 3-minute bar, at the end of that 3-minute period. So how would you think that you could get that value starting on this bar? You see, if you're running it in real time, the volume is going to be increasing during that whole 3-minute period. So when this bar closes, the Renko bar, when it closes, you can't go back and back paint it. That would be, that's called back painting. That's typically what programmers do when they're trying to sell you stuff that doesn't work to make it appear that it does work in real time. You don't want anything that back paints, and to do that would be to be misleading, first of all, but it wouldn't be useful. It wouldn't be useful at all, and you wouldn't be able to access those historical values in real time. It just doesn't make any sense. So you'll see that when it's running in real time, the volume will be increasing until you get close to the end of that period. And it just continues to build, essentially updating each new bar with the current value of volume on the chart on the left. So when I reload this chart on the right, now you're seeing each chunk as a 3-minute period, a 3-minute bar. So now I have replay running. So this is a 3-minute period, this is a 3-minute period. And now it's actually, you see the volume is increasing, 3686, 3700, 37, see how they're lining up here? And now when this bar closes, a new one will open, and the new one will open at the current value over here on the left. Here we've got 1543, and you see it's just one contract behind here, one tick behind basically, as it's updating the current value on every tick. It's essentially updating the previous value of the previous tick, so you're always one tick behind. So now the new bar starts at 0, so we start a new bar here, and the values that you see over here on the right are the current values at the time of the 3-minute bar when the Renko bar closes. So as this Renko bar closes, the next bar will open up at the current value over here. So let's see where that is, the next bar. Okay, there's the next bar right there. Okay, it was at what, 520 or 519 or something? So that's the way it would work for something like volume in real time when both are set to calculate on bar close false. But what if we set the volume on the 3-minute chart to calculate on bar close true and leave it set to false over here on the right, and now run it in market replay? Okay, it'll show you for these bars the value of the previous bar, you see? And then when a new bar opens, it'll show you the value of that bar, 1126. 1127 for the next bar. The only problem for this case is that you'll be one period late, but for something like volume, there's really not a lot of options because you have no idea what the volume will be at the end of the 3-minute period. So there's no way of knowing that next value before it happens. You see the logic in that? So if you want to access the value in real time, that's really the only way that you can do it that's even possible. There's no other possible way, obviously, because we can't read the future. So this is really the best that you have here. It's giving you the current value in real time. It just may not be displayed in such a way that initially makes sense to you, but that is the current value of the bar on the left, as you see it updating here. So anyway, that's how volume works in the indicator reader.